I want to talk about something that's recently happened, and that's specifically Unturned's momentum update and why I believe Nelson's making the wrong call when it comes to the option to switch momentum on and off. And the reason why I don't like the idea of Nelson making this a toggleable thing is because it will create more divide among the community as a whole between server bases. We've already seen this before with bullet drop, and that being a toggleable option, and now we have two different camps of people, big camps of people that like bullet drop and don't like bullet drop. And what's gonna happen with this new toggleable option is we're gonna get people that like momentum and don't like momentum, and we're gonna divide more and more of the game as we keep going on when we add these changes in the game, dividing more and more of the game and making the game more and more less and less uniform, or making the game less and less uniform as a whole. A new player that comes in will not understand why his velocity is different on a different server when it comes to whether or not he's playing on a random vanilla server or going onto a freezer server where literally like the velocity doesn't exist. And that's going to be a major problem for Unturned when core mechanics of the video game are not uniform, like moving. Like, think of any other game that has changes to the way that you move based on the server that you play on. It's almost non-existent. There is literally no way that I've never seen that before. That's not a thing that happens. Nelson's making this change, and I don't know what's going through his head. But I think he doesn't really necessarily want to, make any community angry when it comes to this change, make them be special or happy. But the problem is that comes with a downside, and the downside is division. You're creating more and more division among server owners and among the player base as a whole. And we're going to become less and less, uniform as we keep going on, because there's going to be more and more major changes that happens in the future, and this is going to keep happening. And this is not how you should go about it, Nelson. This is not how you should go about it. If I was you, I would make this change uniform. And then, wait for feedback from the community as a whole. The whole entire community. Not just one section of the community, the entire community. To make changes accordingly. That's what I would do. So that the future of Unturned always plays the same type of Unturned and not has core mechanics of the video game be dictated by server owners. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't really be a thing. There's no other game that does that. What other game has done that? I can't think of one. It's insane. I believe, I trust Nelson will make the best decision, but I want people to know that I want to be the one to say this right now. If this continues to keep going on and on, we're going to have a point where people are on like a specific type of the game, and others on like a specific type of the game, and other people on like a specific type of the game. And it's going to be like so many different types of ways you can play this game because of core mechanics being changed that it's not going to be the same game throughout the entire game. That's crazy to me that's going to be potentially could be a thing in the future, and the way that Nelson's going about it. Nelson, do not make this a non-uniform change. Make this a uniform change so that there is less division among the people, and we don't have another situation like bullet drop, because that's already bad enough. The division among the player base when it comes to that mechanic, and so many other mechanics that I am not even saying right now, like, either zombies, breaking your bones and bleeding, and many more, like that have so many different opinions when it comes to the mass amount of player base. But Nelson, do not make this a toggleable option. Please make this an option that is uniform, just like the rating update, and make this an option that everybody can give their 2 cents on, and everyone has to deal with uniformly. Because movement in a video game is so core to a game that it shouldn't be infringed upon by a specific one person for the entirety of the entirety of the player base. Because Unturned doesn't have any official servers. I think this wouldn't be such a big problem if Unturned had some official servers, but no, it's all dictated by the community. Everything's dictated by the community, and this shouldn't be a community-based thing. This should be uniform. This shouldn't be a thing that people should change, because it hasn't been a thing that has been changed. It should be uniform. Momentum has always been uniform, and it should be, uniform. Movement, should be uniform. This is my little rant. Nelson, please, listen to me, please. Do not make this a non-uniform thing, because I don't want more divide among the player base as a whole, and having to deal with another layer of the game being changed, and having to look out for that layer. And yeah, that's my 2 cents. See ya.